Big news out of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Hi, Aaron Asen from Asen Law PLLC. Yesterday, the Fifth Circuit issued a decision. A three-judge panel from the Fifth Circuit issued a decision holding that individuals who came to this country and are designated entry without inspection, in other words, they came across the border but were not inspected by an immigration officer, can now be held under mandatory detention. So prior to this, and many courts had held across the country, that those individuals, especially those who had been here for 2 years or longer, could apply for a bond in front of an immigration judge. But the Fifth Circuit has struck down those decisions within the Fifth Circuit, which comprises of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And now those individuals are ineligible for bond in front of an immigration judge. So a couple of takeaways from this. Number one, this is not the end of the road. The individuals who the non-citizens still have a couple of appellate options. First, this was a three-judge panel. They can now appeal to the full Fifth Circuit, which is called en banc. And if enough judges agree to hear the case, then the full Fifth Circuit, all of the judges on the Fifth Circuit, or all the active judges on the Fifth Circuit, will hear that case. Second, they could appeal to the Supreme Court. Right now, it's the only decision of its kind across the country, so we aren't quite at a circuit split yet, which means that two courts of appeal haven't disagreed on this topic, so it might be a little early for that. But it is a possibility they could appeal directly to the Supreme Court. On another practical level, I think we can fully expect to see more individuals who would have otherwise filed habeas petitions in other places around the country and likely won, entitling them to a bond hearing. Um, that ICE will probably start to move more of those people down to the jurisdiction of the Fifth Circuit, just because you can't file a habeas down there under this theory. And finally, the last takeaway is simply this. This is not the end of the road for habeas petitions in the Fifth Circuit. There are still other avenues, such as prolonged detention, which could still be argued in the district courts across the Fifth Circuit. This is just the issue of whether or not individual non-citizens who are here entry without inspection are detained under a statute that allows them to seek an immigration bond versus those who are subject to mandatory detention. And even those who are subject to mandatory detention can still, in very limited cases, still get parole from ICE, though that's becoming more the exception than the rule these days. But we will wait and see how all this plays out over the next days, weeks, and months. And for more information, feel free to contact Asen Law PLLC. Have a great day.